I want to let you know, based on what you just heard now, yes, we're in that miracle hour, but what changes now is from now until 5:45, so but for the next 20 minutes, whatever pledge you make will be tripled by the folks at the 10 Equip Foundation. So every donation will be tripled from now until 5:45. That's what we're doing. And on top of that, by the way, they're also going to add a stuffed animal for every child as well. So if you want to make a pledge, now's a great time to do it if you haven't already done so. 514-939-KIDS or 939-5437. Our next story, we've heard some, tough stories today, but the story we're going to talk about right now is one of those that I imagine be very, very hard to tell every time you have to talk about this. And that's about a young man, 5-year-old, who did not survive to be here today to talk about this. His mom is here, Hattie Doyle. Thank you so much, by the way, for coming. I can't imagine this is easy for you either.
Thanks for having me. It's not that it's easy, but it does give me an opportunity to talk about Joe and share his story and kind of mother him from another way.
So talk about what happened, because my understanding was he seemed to be a perfectly normal child. He falls at the park one day. What happened?
Yeah, so he had what we thought was a really bad gastro for a couple of weeks. Off and on, he wasn't feeling very well, and he had just we thought he had been getting over it. And he went to the park and he fell, and we weren't sure if he hit his head, and we decided to take him into the emergency. When we got there, we knew something really was not right. He was lethargic. He was super pale. They rushed him in right away, and by 2 a.m, I think it was, they had brought in ultrasounds, and we started hearing words like Wilms tumor, and I started Googling, and I found that was a type of kidney cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's diagnosed at that stage. I mean, not right there, but it turns out to be kidney cancer.
It turns out to be kidney cancer. They suspected, and the only way to really confirm it was with surgery. So the following morning, he was rushed into surgery. He had his left kidney removed, and it did. There was a mass, a Wilms tumor that was removed. Pathology came back, and it was an aggressive form of Wilms tumor. So he had diffused anaplastic cells, which make it a little bit more aggressive and more resistant to treatment. But the prognosis was still quite good. He had an 85% chance of survival. So it was pretty standard, standard stuff at this point. We thought we're going to be in it for a longer haul. It would be 10 months of treatment that we were going into, but we were really hopeful. Yeah.
And, it's one thing to be told, okay, you have kind of a finish line here, right? You know how it's going to go and what it's going to take, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, so we went through the 10 months of treatment, and it was pretty standard. I mean, cancer is not easy by any means, especially with a child, but kids are resilient. They don't have the same fears and anxieties we do, and I thought I was prepared for cancer, having gone through it with my mother, but with Jonah, it was so different. He was bouncing off the walls most days. He had more energy than I did. And so we made it through those 10 months. We had plans for the future. He was going to start kindergarten. And we went into that post-treatment scan with a lot of hope. I slept well the night before. I didn't have any kind of scan anxiety, as they call it. And so getting the news that day was shocking. I mean, if shocking is the word shocking, I was unprepared.
So the news was what did they tell you?
He relapsed. He had a scan, and they found that he had a tumor that had come back really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And from there, it was just a few more months. We had, I think, less than 3 months.
Yeah. And then you end up with an otherwise, healthy a year ago child now in palliative care.
That's right, yeah. And palliative care offered us an opportunity really I didn't necessarily understand what I was faced with when palliative care walked into the room. I saw the Grim Reaper. But I'm so thankful for what they were able to provide to manage his progressing symptoms and giving us time to spend and enjoy and create memories. We were able to celebrate Halloween, which was Jonah's absolute favorite. Like, Jonah loved anything ghouls and goblins and everything creepy. And in the world of Marvel, he loved the villains, So we got to spend Halloween, and my family was visiting, and it was really a beautiful opportunity.
So I'm obviously sorry for your loss. As I said, I know this must be hard to talk about. It's been 3 years. It's going to be 4 years, you said, pretty soon. So what's the message to people listening to this as to why that's so important to make a pledge today?
I can't change what happened to us and what happened to Jonah, but if I can make a difference, or if you can make a difference to the next little kid who walks in these doors and needs some help, I would really hope that somebody could do that.
That's what you get to do today. First of all, thank you so much, Hattie. I really appreciate you telling the story.
iHeartRadio is throwing it back.
2010s, the decade.
To the days of huge hits and unforgettable anthems. A non-stop stream of the biggest and best.
Drake, Rihanna, Beyonce, Katy, Gaga, The Weeknd,
and more. All your decade-defining favorites, all in one place.
Hi, it's Katy Perry.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
This is Kesha.
Find 2010's The Decade on the free iHeartRadio app. Preset the station so it's always one tap away.